Oh, yay, there are people on here. Awesome, awesome. Now, y'all don't remember, it's just your first name and your the initial now. I hopped on a couple of minutes early because I was just trying to make sure that everything was going to work, and it wasn't going to kick me off. So hopefully it's not going to kick me out of the group chat this time. But I'm just going to let y'all get all logged in. I'm going to wait a little bit, probably till about 3:05 or so. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their day. Today's makeup look is gold. It's the Anna palette. So I just used the Anna palette, and then I did the loose glitter on top of it to give it a nice little extra pop on there. Awesome, awesome. So y'all just remember for roll call, from now on, you just have to do your first name and then first initial from now on. Hello, hi Gracie. Hello. I hope everybody has their meat taken out of the freezer for dinner tonight. We totally skipped around everything. We're not having enchiladas tonight. We had enchiladas last night. So I guess tonight we're gonna have spaghetti. So we got our sauce cooking on the stove. Then I guess we're gonna cook a million boxes of pasta or even some zucchini noodles. That's what I prefer, is to just spiralize the zucchinis and then just mix it in there with the sauce and some meatballs. But I'm just gonna wait for more people to get on. You guys should have written down all of your opening a salon things on as far as your assignment for the 2 to 3 bit, and be ready to fill in everything, to fill in the blanks and such for all of it. So no big deal if you guys haven't written down everything. It's pretty easy to follow along. So no worries there. Is anybody else's allergies just the worst right now? I mean, mine are horrible. I mean, I could not sleep last night to save my life. Gosh, I would sleep for 20 minutes, and then I'd be awake for 2 hours, and then I'd sleep for 30 minutes, and then wake back up for another 2 hours. So it was just an ongoing on and off. Yes, okay. I'm glad that I'm not the only one struggling out here with everything. Brenna, I totally feel you on that. Take typically I've found that if you go, I like to go run the shower really hot, and just breathe in all of that steam. Man, that really helps to clear up any mucus or anything that I have, or any really bad sinuses. My son's nose keeps bleeding. His are bad. Yeah, when I first moved down here, to the Austin area, because I grew up in Dallas. When I first moved down here, I used to get nosebleeds all of the time. I was I was at Texas State at that time, and my dorm room was on the very, 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 very top floor, 7th or 8th floor. And I mean, it was just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I take steaming hot baths every night. Yes. The cure. It's the cure-all to everything. The cure-all. Awesome, awesome. Glad to see everybody is getting logged on. I got nosebleeds all the time when I first moved to Texas. Yeah, Chloe. I feel you on that. I feel you. And it was never like a minor nosebleed. I mean, like I was gushing blood down my nose and such. It's that wonderful, the wonderful, wonderful allergy time. Also, anybody that wears these shirts that like have tassels on here, should you tie them? I usually just leave them be, but I feel like it just looks so odd. But then I feel like it looks weird if I like take it and tie it into a little bow or anything right there. I don't know. Can't win. Just can't win. Without my allergy pill? Yeah, no, every day. I have to take it every single day. So one side of my hair is obviously nice and silky and smooth, and the other side just would not lay down for me. You win some, you lose some. Can't win with everything. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the beginning of the state board and such. We have one assignment that we're going to do, which is going to be the opening of the salon. So I hope you guys have everything. You've written down kind of all of the bullet points that were provided for you, and then we're going to go through and we're going to fill in all of these different bullet points. So y'all go ahead and make sure you have pen and paper ready. And the first top bit of it says opening a salon, handwrite and leave space to include notes. So a show of well, I can't really see your hands, but a show of comments, I guess, over in the comments. How many of you are serious? Like you want to open your own salon of some sort whenever you get on the road down with life, like whether it's going to be a med spa or a hair studio, you know, who all is interested in going down that path? Or some of you like, no, I just want to work for someone else, you know. Yes, perfect. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you want to. Rihanna, no, just want to do booth rental. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. You know, even when you are doing booth rental, you still kind of are considered, you know, your own boss. So you get to choose everything. You get to choose your schedules and such. So it just kind of varies and depends. Now, opening a salon can be a very, very exciting experience. It can you know, it can come with a lot of hardship. It can come with, you know, lots of problems, lots of financial responsibility and such. But, you know, it's totally something that is doable. Private studio, maybe a full salon, heck no. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I think I would probably totally open up a whole salon. I don't know what services I would include. There's just so many, and there's like different licenses that you have to carry with each one and such. So I don't know. But if you're totally, you know, not for sure about it, hopefully this lesson is going to kind of help to point out some of the things that you're looking to do. So I know many of you want to you know, do strictly booth rent, and you know that's perfectly fine because you're still able to set your own time, your own schedule, your own clients, however you want to be able to do it. You know, you kind of don't really have anyone telling you how to do it unless you're in a salon where, you know, they have a set number of hours and they're like, look, you have to do these hours and such. But booth rental is totally a great option to go for if you don't want to have that higher up boss around on you. So it's pretty exciting to see that someone would do it. If I had a salon, someone would have to run the everyday. Yeah, no, totally. I'll be doing at home till I can open a small nail salon. Perfect. Valerie, you want to make sure that you're following all the guidelines in the city that you are living in, because if you're looking to have those specific things and offer specific services and such, you just have to make sure you're within like the city ordinance and such. So definitely something that you totally want to be looking into if that's what you want to continue to go on and do. So one of the first things that you guys had up there is the location. So where is the prime location for those of you that want to have a salon? What is your dream location out there? Or have you really even thought about that? Do you want to stay in the Austin area? Do you maybe want to move on over to Beverly Hills? You got to think about the differences. So with location, you want to make sure that there is a population large enough to support your salon. So a population large enough to support your salon. Oh, sorry, I spelled population wrong. Population. So you want to make sure that you're not opening up in the middle of nowhere where your clients are going to have to travel 20, 30 minutes, just to find where your salon is, the general area, and then they're going to have to track you down from there on. You want to make sure that it's convenient. You want to make sure that you're driving by if you're serious about purchasing it, it's kind of like purchasing a home. You want to be driving by, looking at what the day-to-day is like. What does it look like on the weekends? What does it look like on the weekdays? Is it in a big flooding area? So location is the biggest part of opening a salon. So number two, with be visible, you want it to be eye-catching. So you want your visibility to be out there. You want something that sets apart from everybody else. McDonald's, you have the two golden rings, and that sets apart from all their other competitors and such. So it's having that out there perfect visibility, that marketing and such for everybody to be able to see, so then that way you can help to build your clientele. You want everybody to be able to know, oh, hey, yeah, so-and-so salon is right over there. You can see it by the big hot pink sign that is outside the door and such. So you always want to be making sure that it is in a visible spot, not kind of tucked back away where you can't see anything. The third thing is you want to avoid competition. So if you are looking to open up a salon, downtown on 6th Street and such, you might want to check out, what other salons are on 6th Street. Typically you're not going to see a whole lot of salons in that part of town. Or, you want to make sure that you're not opening right up next door to a nail salon and such. You want to make sure that what you are able to offer to your clientele is unique to you, and being able to experience all of that at once. So avoiding the competition is definitely something that you want to keep in mind when looking to purchase a salon or go up for a lease with a salon. So number 4 is you want to study the area. So studying the area, you want to find out things like the size of this area. You want to find out about the income. You want to find out about the buying habits of these people. If I can spell habits right. You don't want to go somewhere where you are looking to open up a place where you're going to be charging $200-300 for a partial balayage or a partial highlight. You want to be studying and see if the people are even going to be willing to pay those prices. So looking up salons that are nearby, not necessarily right there next to each other, but you want to be looking at salons that are nearby and what their price ranges are. Or even looking at things like the restaurants around that area. So your local restaurants that are going to be near you, seeing what, their prices of food look like. Are they charging $15 for a smoothie, or are they charging $5 for a smoothie? Because that's going to be a big difference in how much you're going to be charging versus what the competitor is going to be charging. So making sure that you know where you're going, knowing the demographics of that area, the spending habits of those people. Are they very frugal? Are they only going to be willing to pay for a haircut? Are they going to be looking for those bigger ticket items? Or are they going to be going just to your local Ulta or stuff like that? So definitely check those things out before going and signing the lease and such. Boutiques that are nearby as well. Yes, for sure. So, if you notice that there's a lot of clothing stores around, check out those clothing stores. It's all about studying the area that you want to be and getting to know as much of that area as you possibly can. So that was number 4. So number 5, you're studying the lease. So when you study the lease, it's not, oh my gosh, I have to read this long, 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 long contract with all these big words that I don't know anything about or any of that. You want to understand what is going to happen while you are renting this place along. So, if you notice in the lease that you're responsible for any major damage that happens to the building and such, typically you're not going to want to go and disclose this. So you want to make sure that you're understanding, the terms and conditions that you are liable for. So Yasmin, number 3 is avoiding the competition. So making sure that you're not opening up in next to anybody that could hurt your salon and such. So studying the lease, understanding everything, understanding what you are open to and what you guys need to be responsible for as being the renter. Number 6 is parking facilities. So, your parking facilities, just like I said, location, location, location. That is the biggest thing that you're going to struggle with when you are opening up a salon. So, if you find out that you go and look at this salon and oh my gosh, it's perfect, but your clients all have to park down a alley that is nice and dark, if it's all dark and non-accessible, I totally wouldn't be wanting to put my clients through that walk and wanting to make them do all of that stuff like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you are paying attention to everything. It's easily accessible for your clients. Are your clients going to have to pay for parking while they're there? You got to make sure that you're letting them know about everything. So then that way everybody is able to pay attention for it all. And especially with working in like downtown and such, you want to make sure that it's not, a $10 parking for anything. So it's definitely an added expense. And, me as a customer, I wouldn't want to have to pay, $15 to go and park. And, it could even add up in the end, especially if you're on a meter or something. So don't worry, park, find out where it is. Even if you're looking at the place, park where your clients would have to park, walk around, walk to the salon, see how bad it is. Make sure that, when it's pouring down rain, your clients are going to have to walk through, a whole pool to get over to your salon and such. So totally taking care of that. Okay, thanks. Alrighty, so that was number 6, which is the parking. Number seven is written agreements. So this is also going to be including studying your lease. So that's why it's so important to read over everything to make sure that, there's nothing of, who has to pay and such. So if you're renting a building, you want to make sure that you're covered, if a pipe is to burst or something, because you don't want to have to be paying that out of pocket. That can be a real costly expense if anything is to happen in your salon and you're not prepared to take care of that. So making sure you have an idea of who is going to pay for what is the perfect thing for the written agreements. Finding out, are you going to have to be paying for all of your products? Are you going to be paying for the water bill, the light bill, and such? Or is that going to be included in your rent on the day-to-day? So it's big things like this that you want to be thinking about when going into opening up a salon. So then the last thing is number 8, which is plan the layout. So if you are planning the layout, there are typically 3 different layouts that you're going to want to keep up with. So the first layout is going to be considered an open style. So with an open style, you want to make sure that everything is big. It's like it may be a big building or, maybe just a big room that you have, but there's not really going to be any big dividers that are cutting this building up into private sections. So kind of how the school is big and open and everything, we don't have big dividers unless you're like in the classroom or the nail room or such. So that's definitely something that you want to be looking at when you're looking at a salon. If you're paying attention to see, are these clients going to be private one-on-one clients? Or is it going to be one big open area with one big community shampoo area, one big, service area? Those are big things that you want to be looking at. Your next thing is you want to be or a closed style. So a closed style is the next style that you could be looking at within your layout terms. So a closed style is going to be semi-private for you guys. So it's not necessarily going to be your own individual suites, but there may be a divider up in between every station. So then that way you and your client can feel like you're having that wonderful private experience and such. You're not being disturbed by anything else that may be happening in the salon or such, but you're not closed off to everything that is happening. So typically in a closed style salon, you're going to see everybody has their individual stations, but everybody has a way of keeping themselves separated from everyone on their ways in and out of the building. And then you can have a combination. So half private, half open. So a combination style will be the third. So with a combination style, it's half open, half closed. So on the combinations and such, you could, have half of your room be dedicated to lashes and stuff, and then the other half of your building could be open, just plain salon, everyday shampoo bowls, chairs, and such, if you wanted to. Or, maybe in each section, there's going to be like 4 stylists, and there's not going to be any dividers in any of those 4. It's just going to be those 4 in their kind of own little area, and then you'll have maybe another cluster all around the salon. So you want to make sure that you're taking into effect of what kind of vibe you're setting for your salon and such. If you want it to be very private and secluded, or do you want it to be big and open and everybody's laughing and interacting with each other on the day-to-day? So like I said, that was number 8, which was plan the layout. So it's semi-private. I hate being in a huge room. So like an open nail salon with private wax areas. Yes, perfect. That is a great example of a combination salon where you have half and half. The school, especially up at the north location, it'd be very similar back there to the esthetician room. You guys have the big open areas of all the facial beds and such, and then you guys have your waxing room. So then that way you're creating that calm and collective environment for your clients. So, moving on to what should the salon have? So, what are some different things that you guys find are very important in having a salon, especially those of you that want to have a salon? What are some big things that you guys are looking for in a salon? Shampoo bowls? Yes, of course. A good location, ventilation, yes. A nice waiting area, restrooms, perfect. Outlets that don't cause hazards. Emergency exits, style foot traffic, a snack machine, yes, perfect. Insulation, a waiting area, comfortable seats, very clean, a reception area, seating and a door, yes, a parking lot, yes, perfect. comfortable chairs. Yes, so you guys are thinking outside of the box, which is perfect because this next list of 11 different things are kind of, different things that you may not think are, directly related to opening up a salon, but they are big things that you want to be thinking about when going to open up that salon. A neck rest on the shampoo bowls that don't hurt your neck. Perfect. Great customer service. An alarm system. Yes. You guys have got it down. So your first number one blank over in what a salon says is you should have maximum efficiency of operation. So what do I mean by maximum efficiency of operation? What I mean by maximum efficiency of operation, if I could spell right, is you want to make sure that it all flows together. You don't want to, find that you're having problems and, maybe the nail tech, the nails, all of your nail artists and stuff are not able to work over, the hair dryers that are blowing, from all the hairstylists and such, or, your estheticians are not able to have a nice, relaxing, soothing environment because there are tons of, nail drills going on and blow dryers and, loud music and such. So you want to make sure that the salon will have a maximum efficiency of operation. The second thing that you want to make sure that you have is adequate aisle space. So adequate aisle space. If you have a tiny little plain runway in between each set of all of your stations, how is that always going to make it how is that going to be exciting for everyone? When you have to play bumper butts every time you're going to go mix color for your client or you're taking your client back to a room and such. So adequate aisle space is a big factor when looking into a salon, making sure that everything can work. You can even make sure that you want to fit a wheelchair through there if possible, because sometimes you will have handicapped clients that may come in that are not able to get in there. Yes, handicap accessible. Perfect, Erica. The third thing that you want to be making sure is the flow of operation towards the reception area. So in each salon, you're going to want to have a reception area for all of your clients to be able to kind of gravitate toward. So whether you want to have this big open space, and then your reception area straight in the middle. You don't want your clients to have to be like, oh yeah, go down the hall, third door on the left, and then take a right, and then you'll find yourself in the reception area. You don't want to have your clients to go on a wild goose chase to find out everything. So making sure that the flow of your whole salon goes towards reception and not, off into 3 doors down and to the left and to the right. And then finally you're able to find reception, because I know I wouldn't want to have to be doing all of that. Oh, Jazzy, are you graduating soon? Congratulations. Brenna, I know you're about to graduate, girl. Congrats to all of you. Alrighty, so question number 4, or fill in the blank. Number 4 is you want to make sure that you have enough equipment space. So enough equipment space. You don't want to be, being stressed on where you're going to be able to store everything. If you have 20, 30 chemical trays that you need to keep all lined up in a row, how are you going to be able to store all of them? Or are you going to be able to store all of them? Do you need to look at maybe a place that has more closets or has a bigger layout for you and stuff? So making sure that you have enough space to put your shampoo bowls, put, your beds down, your nail tables, whatever you're looking to add into your salon, you want to make sure that there's enough space for all of that equipment to go in the long run. Number five is your furniture. Now, I know not everybody thinks, kind of the furniture, that's the last thing. I'm more concerned about getting a building on my hands and finding a space. Well, yes, But things in furniture that you want to be looking at is the cost of the furniture, the durability, its appearance. You know, are you going to have to replace all of your front reception desk chairs every, you know, 2 years or so? Is that an expense that you're going to be willing to put out and such? It just kind of varies and depends for everybody. But furniture, you want to be making sure that you're taking into cost furniture, that you are going to have to pay for all those shampoo bowls, all those petty baths and such, because those can add up. And before you know it, you run out of money, but you don't have any shampoo bowls to, rinse your client's hair color out with. So definitely make sure that you're accounting for the furniture and the cost of the furniture, because you don't want to buy any Walmart furniture either that you're going to have to replace every 6 months. It's just not worth it in that long term for you. And you want to be thinking about your color scheme. Oh, you want it to be flattering and tasteful. Oh, you if you want to paint your salon hot pink, go for it. But I would not paint my salon hot pink and then have a bunch of hot pink accents all over it, because that's just kind of, that might be a little too much into it. So making sure that you're not going too over the top is going to be very key into it. Along with everything else, is you have to take into effect that it's going to cost money, to do your color scheme and such. Now, if you choose to go with some more bold, exotic colors, you may be able to put furniture that is in there that is maybe, a little more downplayed, not as exotic as crazy walls all over the place and such. So that might be something where you're willing to flop the prices for. But like I said, you guys have to remember that all of these factors go into opening a salon. So you have to pay attention to all of them at once. The next thing that you want to make sure your salon has is a dispensary. Why we can't have, nowhere to not put anything and nowhere to store our color and mix our color and such. So having a dispensary with everything on there, you want to make sure that you can mix color, you can wash your bowls, you can wash your towels and such, your sheets, anything that you may need to take care of to sanitize and make sure that you're keeping, the spread of bacteria on the low side in your field of experience is what you want to be doing. So making sure that you have a dispenser without storage, you can't really have a nice location, because you don't want to have to put everything out into the open, for everybody to be able to see all the time. So when you're looking at a salon, you need to be looking at, hey, do I need to put color closets in here? Hey, do I need to put cabinets above the shampoo bowls because there's nowhere to store towels? Am I going to buy a shampoo bowl that maybe has cabinets underneath? And such. So making sure that you're accounting for being able to store all of your stuff is another big thing in there. The next one is the restroom. So you want to make sure that you have a functioning restroom in your salon. You want to make sure that it includes everything, that you're going to be able to have the running water, running plumbing and such, that your clients can go in there, be able to wash your hands. And most of the time is you're going to want to have, your own stylist restroom, and then your clientele restroom for everything. Dispensary. Let's see. Dispensary is number 7, and then storage is number 8. The restroom is number 9, and then number 10 is going to be good plumbing. So 8 was storage. Here, let me put it in here for you guys. 8 is storage. 9 is restroom. And then 10 is going to be good plumbing. So, in a building, that is maybe it's been around for a little while, before you sign that lease, you may want to get an inspection on what the plumbing looks like in that area. Making sure that, a busted pipe is not something that you could be running into, that everything is all nice and run correctly, there's seals on everything, because the last thing you want to have to do is claim flood insurance on a salon and such. That's a big, long, lengthy process. It can take a lot of time, and that could hurt your business. You may have to take 2 or 3 weeks off from your business because you're waiting for someone to come and rip all of this flooring out, redo the flooring, make sure that there's no mold growing from any leaks that may have happened. A good plumbing system is very important, very, very important, especially if you're going to be using salon chairs and such. You got to take into a fact that you're washing a lot of hair down there. Your big dispensary sink, you want to make sure that you're either not washing products down that sink, or that sink can take products being washed in. 9 times out of 10, you can't put any type of products down the sink because it just starts to collect and collect and collect, and then that pipe can either burst or you can have a leak in it. So, like Kim says, don't you put gel or bleach down my sink, because I will find out who you are. Take it from me, my house flooded this year. It's awful, and it takes about 2 months to fix. Yes, trust, Brenna. You don't want to be there, especially when you have to go and pick out new flooring and everything, and then you have to be worried about all the mold growing and stuff. Yeah, no, I've been. Oof, I know. I feel you, Brenna. I feel you on that flooding stuff. No gel in the sink. Yes, no gel in the sink. Alrighty, you guys. So then number 11, the very last thing that you are looking for that the salon should have is good ventilation, good AC, and heating. So when you're going and looking at the salon, are you going to notice that, you have one little lonesome AC unit over in the corner that you're going to have to do, uh, you know, to run constantly to keep your salon cool? Or are you going to have a big central AC heating and cooling system? That can be rather pricey. AC units can go anywhere from about $5,000 and upwards. Anyone that has ever had to replace one should know it's very, very expensive. And especially if it's the middle of the summer, you guys, we live in Texas. It gets to 105, 110 degrees outside. So if you don't have a great AC unit, you definitely want to make sure that the AC unit and the ventilation is, going okay in that house and such, or wherever you're renting that salon at, because it is very, very expensive to replace your AC, especially if it is in the middle of summer. So definitely take that into account when you are looking at your salons and such. Being in a hot nail salon feels like death. No, thank you. I feel it makes me sick. Yeah, no. So I totally, gosh, no. The Texas heat and this cool front came in. I don't know about y'all, but it's still real nasty out here. Being in a hot salon is terrible. See, exactly. So making sure that you've got that good AC unit, make sure that it's about middle of the line or higher up. I don't know about AC units, but my boyfriend does, so it's what it is. Alrighty, so on that next page, I'm just going to type out these different couple of regulations so we can get going on this. Alrighty, so your local regulations is going to be your building renovations. So for your local renovations, those are going to be local regulations is going to be building renovations. I wanted the sun out like yesterday, right? So your federal law is going to be like Social Security, unemployment, insurance, and taxes. So your federal laws are going to be Social Security, unemployment, insurance, and taxes. Ooh, I put taxes instead of taxes. My bad, yeah. Taxes for you. Taxes. So, your federal law, your Social Security and such, unemployment, insurance, and your taxes. So then your state laws are going to be things like sales tax, licenses, and workman compensation. You do have to provide that in the event that something does happen in your salon environment. You want everything to be covered because you don't want to have to pay that out of price. Income tax laws. So these are going to be state and federal guidelines. So it's just going to vary and depend on your income tax laws. Each state is going to have different ones based on, your imports and all of that and such. Some states don't have an income tax. There's only like the federal tax and such. So it just varies in between each state and what state you are in. Repeat state laws. So state laws are sales tax, licensing, workman compensation. Let's see. And then you have your income tax, which of course is the state and federal guidelines. Alrighty, and then some of the insurance that you may have to come across is going to be like malpractice, premise liability, fire insurance, burglary, and theft. Especially if you talk with Wendy and such, she is going to make sure that any salon has that fire insurance. They've been through it before and it was not easy and it is not great. So, insurance is going to help to protect you. So then that way you are not at a complete loss in the event that any of these things do happen. Alrighty. And then your advertising. So we talked a little bit about this the other day. So on advertising, I want you guys to just draw a little dash off to the side right there. And I want you guys to put dash advertising should be 3% gross income. So just right there with the advertising, I want you guys to put 3% of your gross income. Advertising can come from very many different things. A lot, people used to put ads in the newspaper and such. That's kind of a little bit of an outdated thing now. Especially with technology advancing so fast, everybody is able to, do different things and such. Varying and depending. I lost my phone. I don't know where it went. Oh well. Oh well. No, Emily, go ahead and just put the dash right there at advertising, and then I'm gonna give you guys the 6 different ways for advertising to take about. So one of the first ways that you can advertise is going to be through direct mail. So this is going to include things like postcards, coupons, any physical marketing, any physical advertising. So maybe you send a note off to your client, every couple of months that you maybe haven't seen in a while, and you're like, hey, look, If you bring this coupon in with you, I'm offering a free product with your service and such like that. So direct mail is a great way to get a hold of your clientele and to let them know of different things that are happening and such. They send out those weekly coupons every week and such in the mail. So those are great ways to advertise your business and such. Your second way that you may be able to advertise is going to be the radio. So maybe you go with your local radio station, and they say for $500, we can advertise 2 or 3 times a day for you, just in our local commercials and such. And hopefully that's going to drag some business in for you. But the radio is definitely a great way to put your way out there. I mean, practically everybody listens to the radio. I mean, we used to be in our cars a lot, but, now not so much. But, when stuff starts to pick back up, remember, people are in their cars. People are usually listening to the radio almost all the time. Um, so the radio can be a great way to advertise. The third way that you can do some advertising is going to be through the TV, the television. Um, Now, I know not a whole lot of people have cable anymore. I know I'm one of I don't have cable anymore, just because it's just outrageously expensive, and you can literally watch everything you want to on like a Roku or something. So that's me. I don't know. I don't know about any of y'all. If y'all still have cable, let me know, because we just got rid of it. But the TV is a great place to advertise, because usually if you still have TV service and such, you're usually not very involved on your phone or in social media and such like that. So, putting your advertisements on TV is going to totally get a different person, a different clientele basis that may have not existed. Maybe instead of those people going and buying box color at the grocery store, maybe they'll remember that they saw like your TV ad and be like, "Oh my gosh, let me call this homegirl up real quick." Things like that can be simple for advertising and such. So the TV definitely works. It's not completely outdated like the newspaper or the yellow pages. I saw that the other day and I was like, man, I wonder if they even make the yellow pages anymore. Can you get that delivered anymore? Does anybody remember what the yellow pages is? We get it for free with our apartment and I still don't use it. Yeah, no. It's just a waste of money. It's a waste of money. You can do your own ads on Hulu and stuff. Yeah. See, everything is completely evolving. You guys, what you guys have to remember is you have the biggest thing that you could possibly use to build your business, and that is your phone. I mean, technology advancing so far and so well. I mean, you never know what could change and such. And, everybody has a phone and everybody's usually on it most of the time. So you've got a lot of power in your hands. And streamers, I have a hotspot too. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, perfect. Could you do that's awesome. Great. So then the next advertising that you guys could do, number 4 for you could be doing some window advertising. So maybe in your salon window, you have like, "Hey guys, I have, $10 off your first haircut," or, walk-in clients receive a free product with their service and such like that. So window advertising is a great way. You're for sure not going to gain the same kind of people that you do from, maybe a radio advertisement or a social media advertisement or such. But, it also is a great way to put yourself out there, draw attention and stuff, especially if you have something that's pretty flashy and crazy that you are able to offer for people. Number 5 is going to be public appearances. So maybe, you've just moved to Austin, you don't know a whole lot of people and such. So you get with your homies and you're like, "Hey, let's go out and let's go find some people." Or, there's this big hair show that's happening. So let's go talk to people and stuff like that. Putting your face out there so then that way people know who you are and what you're doing is the perfect way to start attracting business for you. So number 5 was public appearances, and then number 6 is social media. So your social media, as you guys are talking about, in Hulu, you can put your own ads on there and such. On Instagram, you can promote your profile and such like that. There's so many different ways for you guys to be able to advertise for yourselves just from your fingertips. That it is completely crazy because it's like the greatest advantage for y'all and how everything can go. I mean, this little piece of technology right here is crazy, crazy. Alrighty. So that was all advertising for y'all. So some of your average expenses, So how much money are you going to be paying to keep your business up and afloat on the day to day? So number 1 is salary or commission expenses. And salary and commission expenses are going to take up roughly around 54%. So number 1 is your first biggest thing is going to be how are you going to pay your employees? How are you going to pay yourself? Are you going to have enough money and such? So that's going to be one of the first biggest things that you talk about. Now, here in Austin, they say that rent is probably going to be one of the biggest costly expenses that you have, but according to the My Lady and everything, they say that salary and payroll expenses are going to be your biggest expense on the month to month. Then of course your second biggest expense is going to be rent, which can take up anywhere from 13% plus. So I'm going to put 13% plus for that. Ooh. Oh, what's happening out here? Alrighty. So thing, your third is going to be supplies, which is going to take up about 5% of your monthly expenses. So this is going to be products, your chairs, taking in for account if you have to replace furniture, shampoo bowls, toners, colors, brushes, monomer and polymer, making sure that you have all of that stuff. So then, like we were talking about before, the next expense is going to be advertising, and that takes up about 3% of your monthly income. So 3%. And then number 5 is going to be laundry. So your laundry is usually going to take up about 1% of all of your expenses. Making sure that you have adequate supplies, you have a washer, you have a dryer, you have detergent and such. Number 6 is going to be cleaning, and that's going to take up another 1% of your expenses. So maybe you pay someone to come and clean your salon every night. Maybe you clean your salon every night. But you have to take into effect that is going to take up a vast majority of everything. Now, with current situations, these numbers could alter and change just depending on, that you might have to spend a little bit more on cleaning supplies and such like that. So it just kind of varies and depends. So number 7 is going to be the light, and that's another 1% of your expenses as well. think I left one of these off. Let me look and see. Hold on, y'all. Because I was noticing that I was one short. So I was like, ooh, let me see. Insurance repairs. Ah, that's what I left off. Okay, perfect. All right, so number 8 is going to be depreciation. So, you may open up and your business may be popping and going great and such. Certain things happen. Sometimes, you just aren't drawing as much as you need to. It makes it easy. Oh, thank you, Brenna. Thank you. I'm gonna miss you, girl. So depreciation. So that is taking into account of, could the demographics of that area change? Is it in a brand new state? So, or a brand new area? So are you paying a little bit more in taxes, or is it going to go down? Is this an up and coming area? Because what you're paying last year, you may not be paying this year. So taking into account for those different experiences and different expenses that may be happening. So then after your light and your depreciation, you of course have your insurance. Yes, perfect. Yes, Corona does. So your insurance is going to take up another 1% of your, or JK, your insurance is going to take a 1.5% of your expenses. So insurance is going to be a little bit more of an expensive one for you guys. And then you have number 9, number 10 is going to be repairs. So, of course, in the event that you don't have a major repair that catastrophically, deals and messes up your salon, it should only take up about 1% of your total cost of that month to month expenses. Now, that is also why you carry insurance too. So then that way, in the event that something happens, you're not having to pay a whole lot of money out of pocket for those repairs to happen. So hopefully that kind of makes sense, but you do want to make sure that you have all of those. So then you have your telephone, which really has a landline anymore. Maybe my grandma. I don't know. But in a salon, you are going to have a telephone, just a central number for people to be able to reach you or any of your stylists. And that's only going to take up about not even a full percentage of your monthly income. It's going to take up about 3/4 of a percent of your income. So practically nothing. And then, of course, you have your miscellaneous. So these could be things you have to, buy a little extra color. Maybe you have this really cool class that you're going to send people to. You typically want to have about 1.5% for miscellaneous expenses. So number 12, miscellaneous. So about 1.5%. So then, of course, you have your net profit, which should be about 15% or so. And it should all roughly add up to about 100% in your expenses and such. So, there's a lot of stuff that people have to take into consideration when opening a salon. I didn't know about, licenses, insurance, and stuff like that you had to carry. I didn't know that you had to carry a specific kind of insurance in the event that things did happen, and making sure that you're providing everything for your clients to the best of your ability is your main focus. So the very, very last thing that we have is daily records. So, why do people like to take daily records? Why do people like to have daily records? That is because it's going to know how the business is progressing. It's progressing from previous month to month or year to year expenses. So your daily records is knowing how the business is progressing from previous month to month, or maybe even year to year, or potentially even day to day. Now, you really cannot base a business off of its day to day function. You ultimately want to kind of either do month to month or year to year. They say it takes about 6 months to find out if your business is going to sink or swim. So within those 6 months, you're going to know whether it's going to work well for you, or if you're going to constantly be drowning, in your payments, or finding that net profit. Maybe you're below that 15% and you're only bringing in like 10% or something like that. You have to be prepared for these different things to happen. So that's why keeping the daily records and keeping those month to month records is going to let you know a lot of things and how your business is functioning. So the top 5 things that you are going to be able to know from your daily records is going to be, the first thing is you can compare to last year's sales and expenses. You guys, were almost done. One of the second things that you are benefiting from by keeping those records is you can detect changes in your business. So, are you noticing you're having to order almost double the amount of color as you were last year? Well, are your sales reflecting in that? Running all of these different numbers is going to help you sink or swim in the end. Number 3, ordering supplies. So if you didn't, make a whole lot of money last month, then maybe you just don't need to order as much supplies this month. It can, vary and depend. You can kind of lay out and be like, well, we did 20 clients this month compared to, our normal, 40, 50 clients from last month. So, you maybe only need to order about half of the product and stuff. Oh, my bad, Emily. So know how the business is progressing from previous month to month or year to year expenses is the actual definition for daily records. And then the bullet points that I'm listing, 1, 2, 3, and then I have 2 more, 4 and 5, are the different reasons why you keep your daily records, or your different records for everything. Number 4 is going to be able to control your expenses. So like I talked about, that 15% net profit. If you are swiping that credit card, maybe you are not going to be able to get as much money as you wish you could. So it's very important that you're keeping track of all of that. It's like creating a budget for yourself. You have to make sure that, except this time, you're creating budget for you and potentially employees. And then the last one is to check on the use of materials. So keeping those records and stuff, like I said, you're able to check on your use of materials, how maybe if you're just not doing enough lash clients and stuff, maybe you need to look at removing lashes from the services that you do offer to everybody. It just kind of varies and depends, you guys. Everything is different. Everybody's so net profit does not go under daily expenses. Yes, correct. Net profit needs to go under your average expenses. Net profit under your average expenses. And with that, we are done. That is how to open your own salon one-on-one. I'm hoping that this created and gave you guys a lot of insight on what to do and such. So if you guys are just listening, go ahead and make sure you go and comment over for final roll call. Don't forget to cook some food tonight. Hopefully everything is great. Your families are wonderful. Awesome. I hope everybody has a great night. Don't forget to give me some thumbs ups. I'm trying to make it YouTube famous out here. And don't forget, you guys, for your 6 o'clock assignment, your 5 to 6 o'clock assignment, you guys are just going to be snapping a picture and sending it over to Katie for your credit from 5 to 6. So make sure that you have that all sent in to her by 6 o'clock. So go ahead and log off of here and then just snap a picture and send it on over for her. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Congratulations to Brenna Womack from the South location. She is going to be coming up on graduation. And I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Welcome, all of you new wonderful ones. Hopefully someday we get to meet in person. If we haven't already, I do very much so look forward to seeing everybody once again. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, guys.